Version 1.3.5, the major bug fix that we were apparently all waiting for. I didn't really expect to get one so soon, but hey, I'll take what I can get. Sorry I'm so late to this update video, by the way. I was taking a bath. Anyways, v1.3.5 is here, and I'm going to talk about it, show you everything there is. Maybe not everything, because some of the bug fixes are boring, but I mean, a lot of important, exciting news here, so let's get into it. First up, obviously, bug fixes. Not surprising. Notable ones, there aren't very many. Things like the Voidling not reappearing in the second phase of the fight. Pretty bad, I'd say. A weird floating tree on Aphelion Sanctuary, that's pretty funny to me personally. I think they should leave that in. That's funny to me. Issues with just not being able to spawn in correctly, with the camera being all messed up and just dying because of it. The one that I didn't like. I don't like this one. The major construct, the cut enemy, had a glitch where it was showing up in the Bulwark's Ambry, despite being a cut enemy who is not in the game anymore. And they took him out again. What a shame. So we won't be able to see this guy in the Bulwark's Ambry anymore. Unfortunately, it's fine. We'll get over it. And then the last major bug fix that I can find that I think is really interesting is there was apparently a bug, I wish I ran into this one, with the Noxious Thorns making enemies turn on each other. I think that's hilarious, but I'm glad it's fixed because obviously that's a problem. And the Noxious Thorn glitch where it would only apply one stack of bleed sometimes is hopefully at least they say it is, fixed, so exciting. But bug fixes are boring. Let's move on to the real meat and potatoes, as they say, of the update. We've got the Seekers of the Storm 2.0 roadmap, and 2.0 is not like a new DLC, they're just fixing all the stuff that they did wrong, and I think that's awesome. So let's get into their little blurb here, and then we'll get into the specifics of what's changing. Today, we've released an update that addresses more of the bugs you've reported to us. That includes tackling some of the larger reported issues, like the overabundance of elites. Full notes are here. You can access this on Steam or on the Steam app online. In addition to that update, we'd like to share a more holistic plans for Seekers of the Storm. Our ultimate goal is to build Seekers of the Storm into something that can be celebrated by the community for years to come, which is awesome. That's the plan, and it sounds great. Over the next few months, significant changes will be coming to Seekers of the Storm. The updates that we're exploring are expansive, but they won't happen overnight. So the scope of the changes should underline the seriousness we're approaching this challenge with. And trust me, I've read through this. It's a lot. It's a lot. So let's talk. Phase 1 is all about items, and we've got one free teaser here of what new items can look like. With the exception of Sailstar, every item is getting a change, and as for the Antler Shield, we've got something really cool here, where it's now called the Elusive Antlers, and it increases move speed and spawns orb that will give you more movement speed, assumedly temporary, and some temporary barrier on top of that, so that's really cool. Finally, like literally directly correcting the issue it caused with item bloat, which is awesome. So really glad to see this, and I'm really excited to see how it works in the game. As for like the level of changes you can expect for item changes here is shown on this funny little tier list, where Sailstar, unchanged, not going to be touched. Some balance and tweaks are going to come to the Chronic Expansion, Chance Stall, Prayer Beads, Sonorous Whispers, Growth Nectar, Electric Boomerang, and Seed of Life. Some significant changes are coming to the Warped Echo, Luminous Shot, Runic Lens, and the Long-Standing Solitude, and a full rework is coming for the Bolstering Lantern, Knockback Fin, Antlers, Thorn, Unstable Transmitter, and Warbonds. So, amazing. All of the worst items are getting fully reworked, which is really good. Anyways, other than that, elites are also being fixed in Phase 1. Twisted elites. These could offer a lot more room for counterplay. Depending on the items you randomly receive in a run, it's possible you'd be guaranteed to die if a Twisted Elite spawns. I agree, it was miserable. Risk of Rain 2 can be punishing, but when it is punishing, it should be in ways that feel fair and provide space for players to overcome those challenges, which the previous Twisted Elites were not. The core principle of encouraging players to fire a single monster is really compelling, so we're rebuilding the Twisted Elites to give players a chance to dodge that incoming damage, which is awesome. Unavoidable damage wasn't fun, and unavoidable damage that you could not even see coming was also bad, so I'm really glad they're changing this. Gilded Elites. These things are quite healthy, eyes emoji. I don't know what they mean by that, but okay. When a Gilded Wisp decides to flow over you, it tends to just hang out, stealing your gold while you go on a marathon to take it out, which is very true. They were tweaked very heavily enemy. They had a lot more health than they needed to. It's just a lot. These changes we're working on will retain the gold stealing mechanic of Gilded Elites, but in ways that are more interesting and that provide space for counterplay. Their health multiplier is also being knocked down a few pegs, thank God, because that was the biggest issue with them, wasn't it? Now on to Phase 2. So Phase 2 is mostly focused on the False Sun boss fight. We don't know a lot about it, but we've got like a little bit of information here. Phase 2, False Sun boss fight. As we get closer to Phases 2 and 3, we'll have more details on our specific plans. For now, we just want to ensure you have an overview of our thinking. Here's our focus with the boss fight. Make boss abilities more clear and fair. Make them projected more. Prevent the False Sun from attacking through obstacles. Amazing. We needed that so badly. Move the locations of the pillars for better blocking and coverage. That's also very important. I hope that there's just more pillars, because honestly the pillars are fine, and if they make it so that you can't break through them, this is great. Rein in some of the ancillary damage sources, like number of golems and lightning strikes, so more of the damage is coming from the boss itself. And rebalance the overall encounter, including damage and swapping flat armor for adaptive. Awesome, that sounds fine. We're also planning on some changes to both the Scorchworm and Halcyonite during this world map phase. Kind of disappointed. I feel like the child could use maybe a little bit of a change. Maybe I wish it would teleport at low health. Teleporting on the first hit is kind of annoying sometimes, but that's just my opinion. It's good to see they're changing the Scorchworm, though. That enemy is just flawed. So, you know, it's really good to see. And the Halcyonite is a good enemy. It just struggles with AI pathing, so he just needs some bug fixes. And finally, Phase 3. All 3 survivors of the Seekers of the Storm will be seeing some improvements, and Chef is getting the most of them, which is awesome because he sucks. Chef could be a lot more powerful, and also feel more streamlined. So while we're rebuilding his kit to be more elegant, we want to buff him overall. All of Chef's abilities are being revisited, but the 2 that stick out the most are Chef's primary and secondary, Dice and Seer. With Dice, we want to allow players to throw cleavers with reckless abandon, like the Chefs of yore, assumedly from the first game. With Seer, we're making the ability more agile so you can quickly use it and move on with your culinary adventures. I hope it's longer range, because that was the biggest issue for me, is that you could only use it if an enemy was like right on top of you. So, and assumedly what they mean with making the ability more agile is it is agile now and you can use it while sprinting, which is very important to me. Up next is the False Sun, who's fine, in my opinion. I haven't played a whole lot of them, but let's see what they have to say. The False Sun should feel like an unhinged construct creation. After all, that's just who he is. But there's still room for polish. On top of cleaning up the overall kit, we want to make a handful of design improvements. All his abilities are changing, but a focus will be on the lunar spikes and laser of the father to feel more impactful. We'll have more details as we get closer, so that's exciting. I don't really have much of an opinion on this because I don't play the guy all that much. He's just not really my type of survivor, but I'm sure that he had some flaws because everything did. And then finally, we have a proposed seeker change, which I'm just going to skip over it. They basically say that she's fine. She doesn't really need a whole lot of changes, and she was the most well received over the DLC, so they're not going to touch her all that much, but they are thinking of, 1, giving more value to the individual tranquility stacks, which is awesome, because right now they don't have that much identity other than getting you up to level 7. And 2 is they're looking to rework meditate so that it can work better in single player, because most people play this game in single player, so having an ability that's like 90% of its use is in multiplayer is kind of counterintuitive, but it's good that they're changing that. I don't think Seeker needs that many changes, but it's good that they're, addressing some of her small issues. And finally, those are all the details we have for you today. This is a huge undertaking, but one the team is excited about. We also want to thank everyone for giving us time to put together a holistic plan. We know that you're eager to see what's in store, and we can't wait for you to jump in. In the meantime, today's bug fixes are live for PC. It will be rolling out for consoles in the coming week as they become available, and you can find the patch notes on the Steam page. Anyways, yeah, this is all very exciting. I'm really happy to hear about a lot of the changes here, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to, the future of this game, because it's really good to me that they're not just sort of throwing it away after it had a poor launch. That's very important to me, and the fact that they are listening to community feedback is also incredibly important, so I'm happy to see that. Anyways, thank you for watching. I usually don't want to ask people to subscribe on update videos because it doesn't really show a good view of what my content is, but hey, if you want to, you should do that. I'll have a normal video out for you guys soon, ideally tomorrow, but I don't know, we'll see. That bath was really long, so, I have to dry off, and yeah, other than that, thanks for members, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.